iKargos welcomes you to logistics news for early June 2024. Today, we'll delve into the current state of international logistics, highlighting the surging demand for air cargo and analyzing the world's container rankings from a capacity perspective. So, let's get started. I bet you didn't know the latest rankings of container handling volumes for ports in 2023. Research firm Alphaliner has just released its annual ranking. Here's the top 10 rundown. Shanghai claims the number 1 spot, with Singapore closely following at number 2. Remarkably, 6 of the top 10 ports are located in China, underscoring the country's significant influence in the sector. Notably, Busan and Tianjin are positioned 7th and 8th, respectively. In a surprising shift, Hong Kong has fallen to the 11th place, making way for Dubai's Jebel Ali port to enter the top 10. Shanghai, maintaining the lead for 14 years, grew its handling volume by 4% from the previous year, reaching an impressive 49.115 million TEU, nearing the 50 million TEU mark. It stands over 10 million TEU ahead of Singapore. Outside the top 10, India's port of Mundra made headlines, ranking 23rd with an 11% increase from the previous year, becoming India's largest container port. Additionally, Vietnam's emergence as a production center in Southeast Asia is highlighted by Khai Mep Port at 30th and Ho Chi Minh Port at 20th, with a combined total of 14 million TEU. Meanwhile, the U.S. port of New York, New Jersey experienced the largest decline among the top 30, with 7.81 million TEU, down 18% from the previous year. The port of Savannah also faced a significant drop of 16%, disappearing from the top 30, likely impacted by high prices in the U.S. The demand for global air cargo has surged for the third consecutive month. According to Ocean Air Cargo Market Analysis by Zaneta, global air cargo volume saw an 11% year-on-year increase in March. This marks the third consecutive month of growth since January. One of the key drivers has been the robust performance of e-commerce cargoes. Additionally, the shift of many vessels to routes via the Cape of Good Hope, due to social unrest in the Red Sea area, has led to a 2-week increase in voyage days compared to normal Suez Canal operations, prompting a switch to air transportation. Zaneta reports that the air cargo market is currently bustling. E-commerce sales to Europe and the US are particularly strong. Air freight from China to the US recorded a 15% year-on-year increase in March. Despite the high US consumer price index and persistent inflation, these factors are believed to be fueling the strong e-commerce sales. MSC, the world's largest container shipping company, has announced the acquisition of Norwegian shipping company Gram Car Carriers, GCC. The acquisition by MSC is worth approximately $700 million, and the company intends to further expand its car carrier business by purchasing GCC's car carriers. GCC owns 18 car carriers capable of carrying between 2,000 and 2,700 vehicles, which it leases to car carrier operators around the world. After the acquisition of GCC, MSC will continue to operate under the GCC brand. The shipping market is currently experiencing a shortage of car carriers due to the increasing export of EV vehicles in China and other countries. Investment in car carriers is not limited to MSC, as CMA CGM has also announced the long-term charter of 4 car carriers capable of carrying 7,000 vehicles. In addition, China's COSCO is expanding its car carrier business to meet the demand for car transport by domestic manufacturers. The company has placed a large order for 24 car carriers capable of carrying 2,500 vehicles. Europe, which is strict on environmental issues, has decided to ban gasoline engine vehicles, including hybrids, by 2035, and the shift to EV vehicles is expected to progress further in the future. In line with this, the expansion of the market for car carriers that carry EV vehicles will continue to attract attention. Red Sea, Houthis attack to gain Chinese ship profits? Repeated attacks on merchant ships in the Red Sea by the Houthis, a pro-Iranian armed group in Yemen, continue to force many vessels to bypass the Suez Canal and sail via the Cape of Good Hope. In this situation, Chinese ships have reportedly escaped the attacks and are profiting from them. Behind the Israeli-Iranian conflict is the US-China rivalry, with the US providing support to Israel, while China has developed close relations with Iran. Thus, in the Red Sea, merchant ships of so-called Western countries are the targets of attacks, while Chinese ships are spared from attacks and can operate in the Suez Canal. According to disclosed information from mid-October of last year to mid-March of this year, the number of Chinese vessels returning to China through the Suez Canal increased by 73% compared to the previous 6 months. If ships from Western countries continue to have difficulty navigating the Red Sea, while Chinese-flagged vessels are able to pass through the Red Sea, it is conceivable that demand for loading Chinese vessels may increase. As we reported in another news item, demand for air transportation is increasing due to the avoidance of shipments that require longer voyages by operating via the Cape of Good Hope. However, expectations are likely to increase for Chinese vessels that can carry cargo by sea and not by air, which is more expensive than sea transportation. We will continue to provide updates as tensions between Israel and Iran continue, and the situation in the Middle East will have a significant impact on logistics. How was this issue of logistics news? The economy and logistics are strongly intertwined, with increased demand for air cargo and investment in car carriers. Let's keep an eye on the latest economic and social developments and catch up with a fast-changing shipping market. If you found this news informative, please subscribe to our channel, like us, and share on social networking sites. We will be back with more updates in the next edition.